morning to the dignitary staff and my friends and students here. And today we have two resource persons here. And first we have Mr. S. Harikrishnan sir. And Mr. S. Harikrishnan sir had his school education in Montfort Boys Higher Secondary School, Aircard, and his bachelor's in business management in PhD in R. Coimbatore, and MBA from Administrative Management College, Bangalore, and Management Information Systems in USA. And he was business analyst Hitachi Data Systems, California, USA, from 2000 to 2007, and currently partnering with Titan Company Limited and managing retail showrooms. The world of Titan watches, Tirunelveli Junction. And by the way, I bought my first watch there in Tirunelveli in your Titan showroom, and I'm still having it. And Titan I Plus World Class Opticals in Tirunelveli, Palayamkottai, and Thoothukudi, and also Tanishq Gold Jewelry Showroom since 2007. And he is also Assistant Governor in Rotary International District 3212, Launch Director in Business Networking International, Aindinai Chapter, Joint Secretary of Tirunelveli District Chamber of Commerce, Member of Young Entrepreneur School, Member of JCI Palayamkottai since 2007, Member of District Club Tirunelveli. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. Thank you. And next we have Mr. C.N. Suresh Chandra. He was born in Sivakasi, and he did his schooling in SHVN Higher Secondary School, Sivakasi. He completed his undergraduate course BCom in Ansar, Sivakasi with first class gold medal. He joined in Chartered Accountant course in 2007 and successfully completed it in 2011. He started his career with Ramco Group as deputy manager in his spinning division, Rajapalayam, from 2011 to 2014. Then, during 2014, he is appointed as internal auditor in Arasan Group of Companies, Sivakasi, where he is looking after various audits of schools, colleges, and other industries. In 2015, he started his own practice as chartered accountant in his hometown, Sivakasi. And now he is a partner in JSRS and Associates, Coimbatore since 2015. The firm is having branches in Chennai and Sivakasi with clients covering all over India. He is an active member in Lions Club of India, Sivakasi, holding position of Joint Secretary and Secretary in JCI Sivakasi Nila Club. He is an external expert faculty in Department of Commerce CS and in Department of Commerce Regular in Anzar College, Sivakasi. He is a faculty in Sivakasi branch of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and he is doing guest lectures in many colleges in Tamil Nadu. And it's a pleasure to have you here, sir. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you.
Okay, this is the time for your presentation. Let me start the presentation. First is yours. Shall we start it, Raji?
Yes, ma'am. Do I have to do it first? Okay, ma'am. Yeah. I'll present my screen now. Right. Is the PPT visible?
Yes, yeah. Go to the full screen now.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I've taken the Education Budget 2021. This is one of the most awaited budget, and yes, it is a sector, the education sector in India. Schools have been closed for a year now. Millions have not had access to remote learning. Schools have not even begun to prepare for the return of children, or the many that may not teachers or in short supply and not trained to handle remote teaching, or the diversity that they will encounter when schools do open. In the Union Budget 2021, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced a total expenditure estimate of Rs 93,224 crore for education. This consists of Rs 54,874 crore for the Department of School Education and Literacy and Rs 38,350 crore for the Department of Higher Education. The Central University in Leh for accessible higher education in India and allocation of Rs 3,000 for the training of graduates and diploma holders in engineering, and also much appreciated by the sector. However, mentioning nothing about the informal education sector led by EdTech disappointed many. And the second key takeaway is Finance Minister announced a provision for 100 new Sainik schools to be set up in partnership with NGOs, private schools and states in the Union Budget for the year 2021-22. Top retired military officials have welcomed the decision, but cautioned that the structure of these institutes should not be tampered with. Sainik schools are primarily military schools that run under the purview of Sainik School Society, an organization under Ministry of Defense. At present, there are 33 Sainik schools across India. In her budget, in her budget speech on Monday, Sitharaman said 100 new Sainik schools will be set up in partnership with NGOs or private schools or states. Well, no further details about the provisions were immediately available. Senior officials have said that Sainik School Society will play a central role in the implementation of the decision. The third key takeaway is, in her speech, Nirmala Sitharaman said that the government would be introducing the legislation this year to implement the setting up of Higher Education Commission of India. There are other umbrella structures to be created for higher education, she added. And the fourth one is setting up of Higher Education Commission. Government will set up a Higher Education Commission responsible for accreditation and regular funding of colleges and universities. Through this, institutions will have better synergy. For making higher education accessible to Ladakh region, a central university will be established in Leh. And sorry, once again, I've edited this. I'm sorry for this inconvenience. The fifth one is development of students under SC and ST categories. Under Education Budget 2021, government will set up 750 Ekalavya residential schools in the tribal areas. The fund allocated for the same is rupees 20 crore, and for hilly areas it is rupees 48 crores. A total of rupees 35,219 crores is allocated for the welfare of SC students for 6 years till 2026. And the skill development under Education Budget 2021. The most important now is skill development. Realignment of apprenticeship for students from diploma in engineering gets an allocated fund of rupees 3,000 crore. Government will collaborate with UAE for skill development and deployment on successful completion of courses. Research and development. Government has taken a few initiatives to maintain the research ecosystem by collaborating with many countries. To begin, the Finance Minister announces the collaboration with Japan for sharing of technology and knowledge. But every budget has two phases, and now let's see the critics. While the Ministry of Education asked for 103,673.66 crores, it has received only 93,224 crores. The budgetary allocation for the coming year of Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, the government's flagship program for school education, is much lower than it was even last year. The allocation for mid-day meals is lower too than the revised estimates of the last year, and the total National Education Mission allocation, that includes teacher education as well, is also down from 38,860.50 crores to 31,300.16 crores. Further, there is no mention of making schools safe to return to, or training teachers to handle the post-pandemic crisis, or bringing children back to school, or addressing the nutritional crisis that may have been created. In fact, the Finance Minister had not a word for the vast number of students who have struggled to keep themselves going this past year. Not a word. So, fingers crossed for the upcoming academic year for both students and parents. Thank you. I'm sorry that I have some errors in my presentation. I'm sorry. I've missed some slides. Ma'am, I've done with my part.
Yes, Raji, sir, we are expecting your suggestions regarding this education budget 2021.
Yeah, first of all, thanks to Dr. Uma Maheshwaran for the program coordinator, and also to especially Dr. Valadmati ma'am for giving a warm welcome address, and also to Ms. Raji who actually introduced me. Thank you once again, and it's nice to know that you're a loyal, pioneer customer of our showroom, and I should thank my good friend Dr. Durai sir for giving me this opportunity to be here today. Wonderful, and also thank my co-panelist, good friend in JC, Chartered Accountant Suresh sir. And my dear friends, thank you once again. I think your presentation, you shared all the key highlights of the education part. One point I wanted to share is that, the Central University in Leh and 100 new schools, colleges, and also for colleges, they are spending more. Skill development was one area which they're focusing on. So the budget is definitely lower than last year. And generally, the education budget, I think military and education budget, the other countries give more importance. They spend more on these two sectors. But I think India, we are developing, we are still focusing, we are still trying to improve those sectors. One area which I felt that government is focusing now is they're changing the new education system which they're bringing into act. So I think that will have from Kashmir till Kanyakumari. I think all the schools and colleges they'll have some basic education which all the students will have to go through. Some minimum courses which everyone will have to go through, so that students don't have a big gap from state to state. So I think the new education policy, if they start implementing it, I'm sure we'll start seeing the good side of the education will definitely improve in our country. And the other good thing is I just heard this morning one of my friend, he's with the education department. He was sharing that teachers are being trained on how to teach children through music and drama, just like how they do it in other countries, especially in US, where teachers actually use music to teach the children through drama. They don't really use too much of writing on the boards. They don't give them that kind of activity, but they use it through music, through drama. They try to inculcate the concepts to the children. So I think those are some from the new education system. We'll be seeing such changes, and I'm sure the creativity of our students will improve. So we won't have to read and reproduce what we are learning. We'll probably incorporate these. We'll be able to understand the concepts very easily, and we'll be able to be more creative. And there'll be so many other opportunities that will open up. So once again, Ms. Raji, I think good job analyzing the budget, the education budget. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your great suggestion and many inputs you have given. Mr. Suresh Chandra, sir, do you have any suggestion about education sector, sir?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. I thank EMS Institute for giving me this opportunity to join as a resource person for this budget presentation, union budget. And thank you, Rajashmi ma'am, for introducing me. And so as far as that presentation area is concerned, so nicely presented. And one thing I felt is you are too fast in your presentation, right? So whenever you present anything, so if you want to attract the customers, if you want to control the customers, you have to have some ups and downs in your voices modulation. Okay, so this is from presentation point of view, and in that some points I want to add. So this time, whenever you listen to the budget, the Indian Finance Minister always insisted to move some of the sectors to private sectors, right? So many of the sectors are moving to private sectors. So in this also, in the school education also, actually they are having like joint venture or a partnership with the private sectors. So they are starting around 100 schools in along with the joint private sectors, and they are planning to implement. So as per my point of view, what I am saying is, if going more to private sectors in schooling means, so some of the persons are doing the school activities in a business manner, and they are charging heavy fees. So when our government sectors integrates in that, so they will be able to regularize the fee structure and all. So the government is, so whatever it may be, we will think it in a positive way, right? So when the government moves into private sector, they wanted to keep track of that record. So just I want to add that point only in this your present budget. Section that everything is fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Navina Sri, are you ready? Next presentation is yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Navina Sri?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can start your presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to, ma'am, I just wanted to add one more point to the education part. I think they're planning to start 750 more the Ekalavya schools in tribal areas. So that's one other initiative they've taken.
Exactly.
So that's another great initiative.
Suresh Chandra sir has given a right point. The private institutions, they are starting and charging high fees, and government, in a sense, surely fee structure will vary, no? So 100% our people will get benefit. Exactly the right point. Yes, Navina Sri,
Yes, ma'am, I'll do. Ma'am.
you can start.
Yes, ma'am. Is the screen visible, ma'am?
Yeah, yes, you can start.
Good morning, everyone. My topic is direct taxes on the Union Budget 2021 to 2022. Starting with the Ministry of Finance, because direct taxes comes under her portfolio. Our Finance Minister is Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. She handles the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Corporate Affairs. She is an Indian economist and a politician. She became the Member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha House since 2014. Next is about direct taxes. Before going directly into the budget of direct taxes, I would like to inform everybody what is direct taxes. So basically, taxes are of two types, direct tax and indirect tax. As far as direct tax is concerned, it is levied on the income and the activities that are conducted by the person. Nothing but it is paid directly by the person concerned. That is, there is no mediator between the taxpayer and the collector. Tax collection is difficult because there is no mediation. Then direct taxes are paid after the income reaches the hands of the taxpayer. That is, once the taxpayer receives his disposable income, he will pay the income as tax to the government. So, as I said earlier, there are two types of taxes. One is direct tax and indirect taxes. As far as direct tax is concerned, some of the examples of direct taxes are income tax, wealth tax, gift tax, capital gains tax. There are also minimum alternate taxes and etc. So this is about direct taxes. Coming to the budget 2021 to 22 about direct taxes, let me start with their achievements. They have completely smashed the corporate tax rate. That is, it has been made the lowest in the world. So this is one of their major achievements. Then the burden of taxation on small payers, it has been eased by increasing their rebates. So that is also one of their achievements. Then the major achievement that was quoted by our finance minister was the return filers have almost doubled to 6.48 crore in 2020 from only 3.31 crore in 2014. This doubling is almost a feather in the cap to the government's achievements. Then faceless assessment and faceless appeal system has been introduced in the tax collection process. Faceless assessment is nothing but there won't be any human interface in the process of income tax payment. That is, there shall be no monitoring. It is all being made transparent, and then it is all being digitalized. So it would be easy, and this will reduce corruption. So this measure has been introduced. Then relief to senior citizens. Senior citizens over 75 years of age, their burden of taxation has been exempted, and this exemption has been given by the payment tax. Then continued, reducing taxes, disputes, and simplifying settlements. There is a process of reopening the cases for dispute settlements. That is, those who are not paying the taxes, their cases will be reopened from time to time. So that duration, it has been reduced to 3 years from 6 years. Since 6 years is a long gap, it has been reduced to 3 years. Then in case of serious tax evasion is nothing but not paying the taxes on the proper time. In cases of serious tax evasion cases, the case will be reopened up to 10 years if the income is more than 50 lakhs, that too with the approval of the principal chief commissioner. Then they are planning to set up a dispute resolution committee. for taxpayers with taxable income up to rupees 50 lakhs and disputable income up to rupees 10 lakhs. Taxable income is the income for which you are going to pay the tax. Disputed income is the difference between the admitted income and the income calculated by the government. Then a national faceless income tax appellate tribunal center is going to be established that would be helpful for the tax collectors. Then over 1 lakh taxpayers have opted to settle their tax disputes through one of the important schemes that was introduced as a bill in the year 2020, and it was brought into act in the same year. That is the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. Through this scheme, around 85,000 crore has been collected recently. So this scheme is one of the major achievements of the central government, and this scheme is also continued in this budget also. Next slide. Relaxation to the NRIs. NRIs are the non-resident Indians. As we all know, NRIs are facing many hardships because of their foreign transactions between their hometown and the foreign country in which they are residing. So many relaxations have been brought to them. Then incentivizing digital economy. One of the major drives of the central government, that is our PM Modi's government, is digitalizing economy. So they have made around 95% transactions digitally. This is also one of their major achievements. And then relief for dividend. Dividend is nothing but the profit that is distributed among the shareholders of the company. So they have given many dividends in this budget to the real estate investment trust and the infrastructure investment trust. Then advanced tax liabilities have been given. They have also deduced many taxes on dividend income, especially for the foreign portfolio investors. Because of this move, many foreign investors will be interested in investing in India. The next one is attracting foreign investment for infrastructure. In case of infrastructure debt funds, they have introduced zero coupon bonds. This has the name zero coupon bonds because these bonds, they do not have any interest payments, and only after these bonds reach their maturity value, the investors will get their amount. So it is called zero coupon bonds. Then many relaxations have been given for commercial activities also. Then in case of supporting housing for all, this I would quote the Indra Awas Yojana, that was a major drive for the central government. So as per that, they have given many tax holidays, tax exemptions for up to 1 year and all for the affordable housing projects. The next one, they have also given tax incentives. Tax incentives is they can pay it slowly, like that kind of. They have given tax incentives to IFSC in GIFT city. GIFT is Gujarat International FinTech City. They have given tax holidays and tax incentives and all in that city. This is also like kind of smart cities. That is, they are choosing a particular place, giving many tax exemptions, tax holidays in that city, and trying to develop that place in a magnanimous way. So that is one of the major reason for giving tax incentives. Then ease of filing taxes. Though it is all made online, few people, they are not very sure with online. So even those processes are being made very much simplified for all of them to be understandable. Then relief to small trust. Initially, relief was given around only 1 crore in the previous budget, whereas in this budget for small charitable trusts like schools, hospitals, and all, they have given around 5 crore in this budget. Then for labor welfare also, they have concentrated in this budget. That is, in case of late deposits or late payments and all, it will not be allowed as a deduction, and the employer is assured of getting his payments properly. Then tax holidays have been given for startups. As I said earlier, startup is also one of the important focuses of our PM's government. So tax holidays have been given for the startups. Startups are innovation creations, that's all. Then capital gains exemptions have been given. and that exemption has been extended in this budget. It was given in the previous budget, and in this budget they have also extended it for 1 more year. Then comparing with the previous budget, two schemes have been carried over from the previous budget to this budget also, because of their successive nature. Then those are faceless appeals, that is no human interface in tax collection. Second one is the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. In this scheme, the tax defaulters, they can pay only the disputed taxes. Disputed taxes alone they can pay, and they will get 100% waiver for interest and penalty. Because the government is reducing their interest and penalty, now many of them are coming forward and paying their taxes. So though it is a kind of loss to the government, at least they can get half of the loss, and they can make up for it. So this scheme is accordingly a success for the government. And those who avail the scheme after 31st March, they have given some additional amounts. So the important thing is they want everybody to pay the taxes at least as much as possible soon. That's all. Then major implementation that was done following the previous year budget was instant PAN through Aadhaar. I myself remember attaching my Aadhaar card to the PAN card. I guess most of us would have done it. So that was a major implement of the previous year budget. Then I have attached two expert opinions. First one is Mr. Krishna Kumar Karwa. He's the managing director of MK Global Financial Services. There would be two kind of people, like two kinds of a coin. Some would have a positive approach to the government budget. Some would have a negative shade. This one is a positive thing I have put according with direct taxes. He has said in this budget there are no major changes in direct taxes, and that the budget will be remembered for years to come. So this man, he is okay with the budget, and he's being positive towards the direct taxes side of the budget. Next one is Mr. Tapati Ghosh. He is the partner of Deloitte India. He has said this budget is a major fillip to the NRIs, and he also seems to be happy with the budget. And that's all. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
It's a wonderful presentation, Avinash. Then let me ask the opinion of our resource person. Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I, ma'am?
So,
Auditor is
Okay.
yeah.
auditor.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, Navina Sri, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, madam. So, I think you have studied the union budget of direct taxes in a very expand manner, and you presented in a very nice manner. And so, I want to give you one suggestion. And for you have mentioned that in the direct taxes there is a classification of some 4 things, right? So, what are they?
Sir, that was example kind of, sir. There are many examples. I just
No, ma'am. I'm asking about the types of direct taxes you are mentioned in your slide, right?
income tax, wealth tax,
Yeah.
corporate tax,
Yeah.
minimum alternate taxes, etc.
No, ma'am. Actually, now in direct taxes there is only one tax. So direct tax is only available. Wealth tax is already abolished before 4 years, and the gift tax also abolished, and there is no tax called like capital gains tax. Okay. So now the direct taxes is one available with us is only income tax. Okay.
Yes,
So just to change that correction. And in the budget area, so you have almost covered all the entire areas. Okay. So nice one. Thank you. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think Naveshri, really like what Suresh has mentioned. Really good presentation. You
Thank you,
started off by talking about the finance minister, about her background. So that established a kind of credibility for this budget and such a crucial budget also. And you went on to say about what each tax means, direct, indirect, direct taxes, and how many taxpayers, how many more taxpayers, how much more people are paying taxes nowadays.
Yes, sir.
like so many other good information and some things like the zero coupon bonds, then even the Gujarat fintech, what are the benefits that they're getting there. So nice,
Yes, sir.
good information and startups tax holidays that's extended till 2022 March
Yes, sir.
31st, I think. And all the schemes, the Vishwas scheme and all that, really informative. And in fact, I just want to share an example that Vishwas scheme. That's actually in Titan we have a division called eyewear division. So where we have opticals Titan Eye Plus. So they have about 600 Eye Plus stores. So the government actually they suggested that since we are assembling, see there's a lens factory in Bangalore near the Bangalore airport, which is called
Sir.
Chikballapur. So from there, the lenses get manufactured and it comes to our iPlus showroom in whichever town we are in. And there we have a person, a technician who fits that lens to the frame which the customer has selected. So now what
Okay.
happened is we've been doing this for the last 15 years, for the last 13 years. So now
Okay.
government is suggesting that since we are fitting the lens to the frame, they are saying you're manufacturing in your showroom. You're doing a manufacturing activity in your showroom. Well, actually, it's not a so the Titan company is actually in negotiation, or they are actually appealing to the tax department, saying it's not a manufacturing. It's only assembling. We're only assembling the lens with the spectacle. So basically, they were actually penalizing us and charging about an extra tax for manufacturing. So and Titan company is fighting with the government or appealing with the government to against that. So basically,
Okay.
they offered us this Vishwas scheme. So they offered
Okay.
us, but since there's already this one going on, case going on, we didn't oblige with that. But it's definitely, like you said, definitely a very useful scheme for those who have to pay the penalty and the interest for their the tax which they have to pay. This is definitely a good scheme. They only have to pay their principal tax portion. So that's good. And the other thing which I would have liked to hear from you is that you mentioned about the indirect taxes. I mean, direct taxes and indirect taxes. But direct taxes, how much are they collecting? You said the number of taxpayers have increased. So how much are they collecting from people? So that part of it you could have shared. So I think this year, or at least the estimate, what for the 2021-22, what was the estimate? So I think totally around 22 lakh crores they are estimating as collections, of
Yes.
which I think income tax and corporate tax, I think they are estimating about 5.5 crores each. So and besides that, of course, the GST collection, GST is about 6.3 lakh crores.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think that just those kind of figures would have helped, and how much it has increased from last year, since you were talking about last year as well as this year. So
Yes,
I
sir.
think otherwise a very informative and useful analysis that you've done and your expert opinions from uh, Krishna Kumar Karwa sir and Talati Ghosh. All that very, very informative. Good presentation. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
So you are giving the most input that both of them. I think Dhaneshri is preparing for this competitive exam. I think Navina, you have been blessed. I think so. We are getting more inputs from the resource person.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He sharing about the lens thing and all. That was really great, ma'am, and so kind of him.
Thank you, sir. Because she's in most the students who she's preparing for this competitive examinations dedicated, and she's preparing for.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for that, sir. I think Mukhraj, this is the time for your presentation. Shall we start, Mukhraj? Mukhraj, are you there? And shall we start? Mukhraj, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Shall we start, Mukhraj?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Union budget. லாரி வந்து சொன்ன வீட்டுக்கு போங்க. என்ன லாரி வந்து சொன்ன வீட்டுக்கு போங்க. சரிங்க. நீங்க போங்க. சரிங்க சொல்லுங்க. Sir, Union
Are you
budget.
ready?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, start.
Union budget 2021 from 2022. Healthcare sector. Yes, ma'am. Finance Minister Mr. Nirmala Sitharaman announced his highlights. Finance Minister announced the Center of Sponsored Scheme with an outlay of 64,184 to boost healthcare infrastructure across the country. Mrs. Sitharaman says the budget proposals for 2021 and 2022 rest on 6 pillars, including health and well-being. Finance Minister says the government will provide 35,400 crore for COVID-19 recognition in 2021 and 2022. வந்து என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா 64,180 கோடி வந்து ஹெல்த் கேருக்கு மட்டுமே ஒதுக்கிட்டாங்க. அப்புறம் வந்து 6 தூண்கள் முக்கியமானது சொல்றாங்க. அதுல வந்து ஹெல்த்துக்காண்டி மட்டுமே முக்கியமா சொல்றாங்க சார். அப்புறம் வந்து 35,400 கோடி வந்து இந்த COVID-19 அதுக்காண்டி இந்த கொரோனா தடுப்பூசி போடணும், அதுக்காண்டி இந்த 2022 எல்லா பேருக்கும் கொரோனா தடுப்பூசி போடணுன்ற பத்தி அறிவிச்சிருக்காங்க சார். நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து அந்த 6 பில்லர்ஸ் 6 தூண்கள் சொல்றாங்க சார். ஹெல்த் அண்ட் வெல்பீயிங், பிசிக்கல் அண்ட் பினான்சியல் கேபிட்டல் அண்ட் இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர், இன்க்ளூசிவ் டெவலப்மெண்ட் அண்ட் அப்ராஸ்டியல் இந்தியா, reinventing human capital, innovation and R&D, minimum government and maximum governance. இதுல வந்து சுகாதாரம் மற்றும் நல்வாழ்வுக்காண்டியே சொல்றாங்க. அப்புறம் உடல் ரீதியா பினான்சியல் நிதி மூலதனம் இதுக்கெல்லாம் கட்டமைப்பு பண்றாங்க. இன்க்ளூசிவ் டெவலப்மெண்ட் அது உள்ளடக்கம் டெவலப்மெண்ட் பண்றாங்க. அப்புறம் ஹியூமன் கேபிட்டல் மனித மூலதனத்துக்காண்டி ஒரு இது கொடுக்குறாங்க. அப்புறம் வளர்ச்சிக்காண்டி ஒரு இது பண்றாங்க. அப்புறம் குறைந்தபட்ச அரசாங்கம் அதிகபட்ச ஆளுகை அந்த இதுல முக்கியமானதா சொல்றாங்க சார். இந்த இதுல அடுத்து ஹெல்த் செக்டர், அதுல வந்து சக்திவேல் செல்வராஜ் ஹெல்த் எக்கானமிஸ்ட் த பப்ளிக் ஹெல்த் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் ஆஃப் இந்தியா called the allocation of wasted opportunity. This year give opportunity be an outlay and allocate more than what had been done earlier but seems wasted. அடுத்து இந்த வட்டம் ஸ்கீம் போடுறாங்க. PM அட்மான்பியர் சுத் பாரத் யோஜனா அப்படின்றது போடுறாங்க. A new centrally sponsored scheme, PM Atmapir Sut Bharat Yojana. It will be launched with outlay of about 180 crore of 6 years, improve primary, secondary and third year health care. அதாவது 64,180 கோடி வந்து இந்த 6 வருஷத்துல வந்து இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. முதல் நிலை, 2ஆம் நிலை, 3ஆம் நிலை. அதுல வந்து ஹெல்த் கேருக்கு மட்டுமே முக்கியத்துவம் கொடுத்தாங்க. அடுத்து பட்ஜெட் அவுட்லே கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. The total budget outlay for health is 2.24 lakh crore, which an increases of 137% from last year. Health outlay be used to establish critical and care units and hospital block. அந்த வருஷம் நிறைய ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்லாம் கட்டியிருக்காங்க. அதை பத்தி சொல்றாங்க. அடுத்து மிஷன் பணி, அவங்களோட பணி வந்து என்னன்னா, ஒன்ஸ் டெவலப் பட்ஜெட்டிங் சிஸ்டம் ப்ரொவைட்ஸ் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட். It means controlling the activities and monitoring actual performance and comparing it to the budget goals. Also said the government will be launch mission Posan 2.0. Improve the numerical outcomes across 112 operational district. Aimed the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Nirmala Sitharaman announced that Mr. Narendra Modi led government will provide 35,400 crore the COVID-19 vaccination in 2021 and 22 to numerical vaccination, a made in India product presently limited to justify state. It will be rolled out across the country. The France Minister noted attending the will aware over 15,000 deaths annually in the country. The numerical vacancy is offensive against potentially country. The numerical vacancy factal infections like pneumonia, septicemia and means அவன் வந்து இந்த வருஷத்தோட பணி வந்து என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா, இந்த கொரோனா வந்து 2022 எல்லா பேருக்கும் தடுப்பூசி போடணும் அவங்களோட இந்த பணி வந்து இப்படி சொல்றாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து பப்ளிக் ஹெல்த் லேப்ஸ். She announced that 17,000 rural and 11,000 urban health wellness centers will set up. Integrated public health labs will be set up each district. இதுல என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா 17,000 கிராமப்புறத்திலையும் 11,000 நகர்ப்புறத்திலையும் இந்த ஹெல்த் சென்டர் அமைக்கிறதா சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. மிஸ்டர் நிர்மலா சீதாராமன் also said government will be launched Mission Posan 2.0 to improve analytical outcomes across 112 approximate district. 112 மாவட்டத்துல வந்து செயல்படுத்தப்படாத சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அடுத்த கன்க்ளூஷன். Once developed, the budgeting system provides management and the means of controlling its activities and monitoring actual performance and comparing to budget goals. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Completed your presentation. We'll expect our suggestions from sir. Yes. I can give you suggestions.
Yeah, sure. Mutraj said நல்லா பண்ணிருந்தீங்க. நிறைய இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் பட்ஜெட்ல இருந்து கேதர் பண்ணி ஷேர் பண்ணீங்க. About the COVID vaccine, about the budget from last year versus this year க்கு வந்து ஒரு பெரிய jump in health and well-beingக்காக ப்ரோமோட் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க, செட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஸோ இதுல 2-3 விஷயம் நீங்க சொன்னீங்க. கோவிட் ரிலேட்டட், கோவிடுக்கு 35,000 crore. ஸோ அது வந்து ஆக்சுவலி உண்மையிலே இது வந்து ஒரு பிக் பூஸ்ட் ஃபார் இந்தியா. இந்த பட்ஜெட்ல ஐ ஃபீல், என்னோட ஒப்பீனியன், ஐ ஃபீல் திஸ் இஸ் ஒன் ஆஃப் த மேஜர் பூஸ்ட் ஃபார் அவர் கண்ட்ரி. வி ஷுட் பி வெரி ப்ரௌட் அட் திஸ் மூமெண்ட். ஏன்னா வந்து இந்த கோவிட் வந்ததுல இருந்தே வந்து எவ்ரிபடி வாஸ் ட்ரைங் டு கிரியேட் வேக்சின்ஸ். எல்லாரும் மேனுஃபேக்சர் ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. அண்ட் எவ்ரிபடி வாஸ் ட்ரைங் டு see who can bring out the vaccine first and who can sell it to most countries. But India வந்து வெரி இன்டெலிஜென்ட்லி இதை வந்து நல்ல இதை ப்ரமோட் பண்ணி அருமையான திட்டத்துல இது வந்து கொண்டு வந்திருக்காங்க. அண்ட் 35,000 crore அது பட்ஜெட் ஒதுக்கியிருக்காங்க. We should be very proud because today we are supplying to more than 7 or 8 countries. We are supplying the vaccine to so many countries. So when other countries were expecting us to buy vaccines from them, we are actually supplying it to more than 7 or 8 countries. And I think this is a proud moment for us. So அதே மாதிரி நீங்க இந்த 224 lakh crore வந்து how much is going towards இதுல அந்த ட்ரிங்கிங் வாட்டர் அண்ட் சானிடேஷனுக்கும் ஒரு பெரிய அமௌண்ட் போகுது. ஸோ they want to bring clean drinking water for many houses. ஸோ அது ஒரு 60,000 crore அதுக்கு போகுது. தென் அந்த ஹெல்த் அண்ட் ஃபேமிலி வெல்ஃபேருக்காக ஒரு 71,000 crore அதுக்கு போகுது. அண்ட் தென் ஹெல்த் ரிசர்ச்காக ஒரு 2.7 lakh crore, 60,000 crore அதுக்கு போகுது. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒவ்வொரு அந்த ஆயுஷ்காகவும் நிறைய பட்ஜெட் ஒதுக்கி இருக்காங்க. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்து டெஃபினெட்லி இந்தியாவோட ரீசன் ஃபார் த செகண்ட் வேவ் நாட் இம்பாக்டிங் இந்தியா மச் வந்து ஐ திங்க் இட்ஸ் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் அவர் ப்ராக்டிசஸ். நம்ம ட்ரெடிஷ்னல் ப்ராக்டிசஸே வந்து நல்லா இருக்கிறதுனால ஐ திங்க் வி ஆர் மச் ஹெல்த்தியர் அண்ட் சேஃபர் பிளேஸ். ஸோ அதே மாதிரி நம்ம we are now manufacturing COVID vaccines and supplying it to many other countries. So I think this will definitely change India's image amongst many countries. So once again, Mutraj, நல்லா பண்ணீங்க, நல்லா present பண்ணீங்க. Thank you so much, very informative.
Thank you, sir.
சார் முத்துராஜா சார்.
எஸ் சார்.
ஏதோ அவசர வேலை இருக்கா சார்? அம்மா வாசிச்ச மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு, இல்ல ஏதோ படிக்கடி ஏறி வந்தீங்களா? ரொம்ப மூச்சு வாங்கி பேசின மாதிரி இருந்தது. ஓகே ஃபைன்.
எஸ் சார்.
சாரி, பிரசன்டேஷன்ஸ் நல்லா இருந்தது சார். ஸோ ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணியிருந்தீங்க. மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த பர்சன்ஸ் இந்த வட்டம் பட்ஜெட்ல எதிர்பார்த்தது என்ன அப்படின்னா கோவிட் ரிலாக்ஸேஷன், இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் இருக்கும்னு எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. இன்கம் டேக்ஸ்ல ஏதோ எக்ஸெப்ஷன் கொடுக்கல, என்ன காரணம் அப்படிங்கிறது தெரியல. ஸோ வாட் வி ஆர் எக்ஸ்பெக்டிங், ஸோ எங்க சைட்ல இருந்துமே நாங்க என்ன எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம் அப்படின்னா, ஸோ கொரோனா ரிலீஃப் அப்படிங்கிறக்கான ஏதாவது ஒரு டிபேட் மாதிரி ஏதாவது கொடுப்பாங்க அப்படின்னு எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணுது. பட் பட்ஜெட் எதுவும் அந்த மாதிரி வரல, ஒரு சின்ன ஏமாற்றம் தான். பட் ஹெல்த் கேர் ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ்க்கு நிறையா ஃபண்ட்ஸ் அலாட் பண்ணியிருக்கிறது எல்லாமே பண்ணுறது வந்து ஸோ வரவேற்கத்தக்க வேண்டிய ஒன்று. அதை பற்றி நல்லா பண்ணிக்கிறீங்க. நைஸ்.
ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார்.
I just want to add one more point. Last நம்ம இயர் 2020னாலே எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும் அது எவ்வளோ ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு இயர் ஆஃப் ஒரு பெரிய சேஞ்சாக தான் இருந்திருக்கு. ஸோ அதில் வந்து டெஃபினெட்லி என்ன சொல்றது, நமக்கு வந்து நேச்சர் ஸ்டார்ட் அஸ் எ லெசன், ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ஸ் எவ்வளோ முக்கியம் அப்படிங்கிறது. ஸோ அட் த சேம் டைம் வந்து நம்ம we also learned okay நம்ம we have to earn more, but at the same time we have to maintain our health as well. So நம்ம ஹெல்த்துக்கும் இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் கொடுக்கணுங்கிறத ரொம்ப எம்பசைஸ் பண்ணுச்சு. வித் குட் ஹெல்த் யூ கேன் டெஃபினெட்லி உங்க ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் நல்லா இல்லைன்னா கூட you can improve it and you can improve your relationship. At the same time, if you lose money also, you can earn money through the subsequent years. But if your health is not good, then definitely rendume possible kadiyadu. So I think everyone should take this opportunity to improve your immunity and improve your health. I'm sure every one of you are spending at least half an hour a day exercising and watching how you eat and watching what activities, how much time you spend sleeping, or how much time you spend on your breathing. இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள்லாம் நீங்க ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சீங்கன்னா I'm sure நீங்க நாளைக்கு ஒரு big whether you're going to work or whether you're going to start your own industry, you will definitely be very successful.
Thank you.
You said that because health-wise we should concentrate. That's why our government is 100% concentrating on that. We have to say proudly, we are the number one place in this vaccination process. We have to be very thankful to our Prime Minister.
Thank you, sir. We'll go for the next person. Lynette, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, time is yours.
Whether the screen is visible?
Yes, ma, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lynette from First MBA. I'm going to present the budget presentation on indirect taxes. Indirect tax. First, we have to know what is the meaning of tax. Tax is imposed by a government on income, property, or a profit of the person, or the tax included in the cost of the goods and services. And the tax is divided into direct tax and indirect tax. And the direct tax was taken by my friend Navina Shri, and I am going to take indirect tax. Indirect tax refers to the tax which is calculated by some other person on our behalf, and he or she will deposit the same to the relevant government. Such tax are collected by the shops or e-commerce website like that, and the goods purchased on or the services provided. The amount of the tax will be included in the back side of the product as a MRP. And Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has laid down proposal 2021 to 2022. And Nirmala Sitharaman's profile is she is an Indian economist and a politician serving as the current Minister of Finance and Corporate, and she is a member of the Rajya Sabha, upper house of an Indian Parliament. She works as a former Defense Minister, and she is the second Finance Minister and also a female Defense Minister. And here's the indirect tax proposal. The first is GST on club and association. This amendment is related to the club and association. The background of this is there were attempts by the central and state government in the past to levy the taxes that on sales and also the service tax on services, and the services given by the club to the members. And the club will charge some of the subsection fee, membership fee, GST fees will be collected by them. For example, there are a sports club, a social club like that. In that, they will collect a certain sum of money towards the common utility of the association from their members. The same legal position before this amendment is equally applicable on GST also, and the GST is not liable on that whatever the amount collected by the club or association. And this GST on club and association comes under the section 7 subsection 1 and AA. And the second proposal is ITC matching provisions. What is meant by ITC? The abbreviation is input tax credit. In this, they can complain input tax credit only when their invoice was filed by the supplier in GST. This amendment will act like banking up for Rule 36 subsection 4. And also the debit note has been furnished by the supplier in the statement. And the next proposal is audited GST reconciliation statement not required. This comes under the section 35, subsection 5, which is removed, and also the amendments made in section 44 now onwards. In this will be a levied certification. It can be certified by the company itself. It means self-assessment can be valid now, and this amendment will be effective from the future date onwards. The fourth proposal is interest on net tax liability. They will charge the interest on net cash liability. If there is a delay in the payment of tax in GST, they will charge the interest at the rate of 18% per annum. And this is applicable only when there is a delay in the payment of tax. And the fifth one is seizure and confiscation. What does seizure means? Taking over the actual possession of the goods by the department, and it can be made only after the inquiry and investigation, and that the goods are liable to the confiscation of the goods as an ultimate approach. And the last one is filing of appeal under section 129 subsection 3 for intention or seizure of goods. In that, no one should file against an order. Proviso means condition or a qualification attached to the agreement. So no one should file against an order. If they file against the order, they will give a penalty equal to a 25% of the penalty. That penalty should be paid by the applicant. And the comparison of indirect tax 2020 to 21 is the government increased customs duty on several products, including toys, footwear, etc., only to promote Make in India and to boost the domestic manufacturing. On custom or import duty, they increased the footwear price from 25 to 35, and also the part of the footwear from 15 to 20. And the next achievement in 2020 is the simplified return format for GST is being introduced. There, the GST has resulted in gain of rupees 1 lakh crore to the consumers. And the third comparison is electronic invoice is another innovation wherein critical information shall be captured. It means implemented in a phased manner. It facilitates the compliance and return filing. And the comparison on indirect tax in 2021 to 2022 is agriculture infrastructure development is on 25 products. The 25 products that in the case of apple 35% and crude palm oil at 17.5% and 2.5 per liter on petrol and 4 per liter on diesel, and also the custom duty as reduced. And the second comparison is certificate requirement for GST audit done away. And the third is input tax credit. That means it can apply the input tax credit only when the invoice was filed by the supplier. And the expert opinion on indirect taxes, Arjun Jaitley, he is a former Finance and Corporate Affairs of the Government of India. He is a minister from 2014 to 2019. He has said that the corporate taxes were not rising, the income tax and in fact the growth of the little moderate. And he also said that the sudden spike as far as personal income tax is concerned, both in number of returns and also in the quantum of tax. He said that the only reason for this was the people with anonymous cash, which was floating in the system, now got declared by being deposited in the bank. And the next is GST has made the rate more responsible, and also GST assets have saved on indirect tax. And their income has gone up, and therefore in the last installment, and the corporate tax being paid slightly went up. And thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. I think your audio is a little bit not cooperating with you, I think so. Okay, Lynette, switch on your video. Yes, sir. Your suggestions.
So Lynette ma'am, as a Lynette is also our area, so most of the expectations always from these two areas, direct taxes and indirect taxes. So you have presented in a very nice manner. Lynette ma'am, do you have any idea which collection will be higher always, either whether it is direct tax or indirect tax? In which area the government has more revenue?
Indirect taxes.
So direct taxes. No, actually, the government has more revenue from indirect taxation only, not from direct taxes. That is from the introduction of GST. But so far, when you are comparing this budget statistics, our finance minister has informed that both the income from direct taxes and the indirect taxes have come approximately a little bit, just a difference of only 1%. So previously, when we take that, there is a difference of almost around 10 to 15% between the indirect tax collections and the direct tax collections. But after the introduction of GST, as Arun Jaitley sir rightly said, the indirect taxes collections increased, and in coordinate with that, in line with that, the direct tax collections have also increased. Okay. So now, in future, what we are thinking is, as you said, the direct tax collections will exceed the indirect tax collection. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that feedback, Suresh sir. And Ms. Lynette, yeah, good explanation about the indirect tax proposals. Very informative. I feel that the social club, which you mentioned initially regarding sports and service clubs, I belong to Rotary, and we have recently incurred this extra service tax for our, like you mentioned, the subscription, the fee that we pay for Rotary International. We have to pay 18% service tax. We have to pay 18% GST on those on that as well. So that's an additional revenue for the government. So I think again, the other things which you mentioned, GSTR 9 can be filed without certification, and the interest tax liability is at 18%. All those good information you shared. The agriculture chess that they introduced this year, as you know, Prime Minister's the government's main aim is to double the farmers' income. So I think this agri chess which they introduced is definitely, I'm sure this will go a long way in, helping the people who actually protect us. As we were earlier talking about the health budget, about health policies, this agriculture, the farmers are the people who protect us. Just like the people like the army, they are protecting our borders. The farmers are the ones who are protecting our health. So I think they need to be taken care of well as well. So this agri chess will go a long way. And like you mentioned, the chess has been implemented for crude oil and as well as for other things like apple and even alcohol also. So this is a good time to give up alcohol, I guess. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that you mentioned about the being customs duty being reduced for certain items, especially for gold and silver. The customs duty has been reduced by 5%. Earlier it was 12.5%. Now it's 7.5%. But I think they've rationalized it. So, and that's a net effect of 10%. So the customs duty is at 10%. Mainly because I think they wanted to curb smuggling. So I think that's why they reduced the customs duty. And just like sir mentioned, how much percentage of how much is being collected through GST, how much the government is getting revenue through direct or indirect taxes. Like he said, GST is a major contributor. So 6.3 lakh crore is being contributed through GST, and through customs another 1.4 lakh crore is being contributed, and others around 3.4 lakh crore. So this is one of the main revenue for the government. And then I think the auditor can also share. They've taken a lot of steps earlier. Fake invoices were being used to reduce their GST tax burden or something. But now government is keep putting all these other restrictions, like you mentioned. You have to only when the supplier uploads his documents that you can take input tax credit. So all those are interconnected to reduce those kind of activities. So once again, very informative. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You all, both of them giving the depth information about each and everything. It will be really best to be fair. Okay, so next is Gladson. Are you ready for your presentation? Gladson, are you there? Are you ready for the presentation? Gladson, can you hear us? Gladson?
Gladson, are you there? Gladson?
Yes, ma'am. Can you call other persons, ma'am? I think we don't need to waste the time.
Yeah.
Adilakshmi, are you ready for that, ma'am? Adilakshmi, are you ready for presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you proceed. Then we'll go first. Start your presentation, Adi.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Good morning to all. Yes. Ministry of Railway India. The Ministry of Railway is the head of Ministry of Railway of the Government of India. The Railway Minister is usually accorded a cabinet rank and is responsible for Indian Railway, one of the largest employer in the world. An important responsibility of the Railway Minister was a present in Parliament to the Railway Budget, the annual financial statement of Indian Railway. ரயில்வே அமைச்சர் வந்து ரயில்வே அமைச்சகத்தின் தலைவராக இருப்பாங்க. மிகப்பெரிய முதலாளிகளின் ஒருவராக ரயில்வே அமைச்சர் பணியாற்றுவார். Organizational structure. The ministry has a union minister and a minister of state. The railway board, which is the apex body of the Indian Railway. Report of Parliament through the Ministry of Railway. The Railway Board comparison chairman, several members of the Railway Board, 5 and financial commissioner, who is the responsibility of the Minister of Finance in the Railway Board. It also includes a General Railway Health Service Director General Personnel and a Director General Railway Protection Force. A member of directors reports to the Railway Board. Most of the officers posted in Ministry of Railway are either from organized Group A Railway Service or the Railway Board Secretary Service. ரயில்வே அமைச்சகத்தில் வாரியத்தின் தலைவர் 7 பேர் இருப்பார். ரயில்வே வாரியத்தில் 5 மற்றும் ஒரு நிதி ஆணையர் டைரக்டர் ஜெனரல் ரயில்வே சுகாதார சேவைக்கு இயக்குநர் ஜெனரல் பணியாற்றும் இயக்குநர் ஜெனரல் பாதுகாப்பு படை பல இயக்குநர்கள் ரயில்வே வாரியத்தில் பணியாற்றுகிறார்கள். ரயில்வே மினிஸ்டர் Piyush Goyal 55 is the Ministry of Railway and Minister of Commerce, Industry in the Government of India. He is a member of Upper House of the Parliament of India, Rajya Sabha, and the Deputy Leader of Rajya Sabha. Piyush Goyal 55 அவர் உறுப்பினர் இந்திய நாடாளுமன்றத்தின் மேல்சபை மற்றும் மாநிலங்களின் துணைத் தலைவராக ஆல்ரெடி பியூஷ் கோபால் இருந்தாங்க. He was earlier the Ministry of Railway under Goyal 2017-19. He has also held additional charge of Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs, which in 2018 and 2019 earlier. He has Minister of State, Independent Charge for Power, Coal, New and Renewable Energy, 2014-2017. Piyush Goyal 2017-2019 சுயநிதி கட்டணம், சக்தி, நிலக்கரி மற்றும் புதிய ஆற்றல்களை நிரூபிச்சாங்க.
Please, that is the guest has to move. That is sir is waiting. Suresh, he said we want to move at 11:30. Please give only the content of the budget. We don't want the clear explanation about the ministry and all. Give only the short and sweet content of the budget, no, please.
Yes, sir.
You say only the budget highlights.
Bullet train budget. According to by team of the railway budget, this year may throw light on Indian Railway to interact new bullet train network in the coming year. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present a Union 2021 and February first railway budget 2021. Part of the recent the Indian Railway released the draft National Rail Plan 2014, which provides almost 8,000 kilometers of bullet train network across the country of 2051. சீதாராமன் பிப்ரவரி 1 8,000 கிலோமீட்டர் புல்லட் ட்ரெயின் நெட்வொர்க் சேவை தொடங்கும் அப்படின்னு சீதாராமன் அறிவிச்சிருக்காங்க. ஒர்க்கிங் progress, but even as it look to complete the Mumbai Ahmedabad bullet train project, Indian Railway has already through or
Sorry, sir. That is, she will face all this frequently. She will face a
Yes.
network issue in this place.
did they take a preparing the project report
Adi, there is any network issue, Adi?
for some history rail course? The detailed project would
Adi, sorry
further
for this.
Delhi Varanasi bullet train corridor.
Lakshmi.
IUP has already 800 kilometers. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, Adi. Okay, Adi Lakshmi. Thank you, thank you. I think there is a great network issue in your place. Sir, shall we proceed to the next candidate, sir? For your suggestions? So I think your audio is in mute.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Adilakshmi. You started well. I think due to connectivity issues, we're not able to get you fully. But I think good slides about the railway minister and about railways as well. World's largest employer and things like that. And another 8,000 kilometers of bullet train coming up. So I think the important things are like, I think they're going to electrify the broad gauge lines by 2023. And they're also going to increase, put in a lot of, pump in a lot of funds to expand the railways to accommodate the incoming traffic. So up to 2050. So, and also they're going to introduce a new system where they're going to avoid train pollutions. So that's another system which is being developed in India. So that's the main thing which I think will help Indian commuters, rail commuters. So, thank you.
Suresh, shall we proceed for the next person, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Just I want to give you only one comment. So, out of the major allocations for this budget, as everyone will know, the first preference will be given for always defense. So, major expenses on this budget will be spent only on the defense. And out of the major allocations, the railway budget is coming to the 7th place. So, only after this major allocations, only they will include health. They will include health, education. So, out of the major allocations of the government, so this railway budget will be a major, plays a major role in this. So, this added point we can move to the next. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi. Are you ready for your presentation now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, proceed, Lakshmi.
Ma'am, slide. Ma'am, okay.
Yes, yes, ma. Yes, yes, yes. You can proceed.
Okay.
You can proceed.
Good morning to everyone. My topic infrastructure, Union Budget 2020-21. Presentation by Thanglashmi. Minister of Infrastructure, Nitin Jairam Gadkari born 27 May 1957 is an Indian politician and businessman. Maharashtra, who is the current Minister for Road Transport, Highway and the Minister of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise in the Government of India. Point. Road transport and highway responsibility was set to become minister. Developed rules of the road rules and plan. 60% of the roads in India are used. Next point, infrastructure budget. Government are launching project worth rate 130 lakh crore to credit job in India. Next point, rate 1.70 lakh crore Nirmala Sitaram plan to complete transport and iceway construction. Infrastructure budget comparison to Action 2, 2020-22. Point. India, a project costing rate 2.15 lakh crore was developed for the railway by 29% by 2020-21 increased with the CAPEX plan. Next topic, infrastructure expert opinion on budget. Overall, the government appears to have chosen the consolidation and the reforms of the past 5 years. The budget continued with the thrust on infrastructure, social welfare improvement in easy living, simplification on tax and leveraging technology for better governance, full tax expectation to several health funds for investment in infrastructure and other notified sector and significant positive. It was also heartening to see the focus on sustainability through measures on the environment and climate change. Similarly, the continued focus on cooperative freedom is positive. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thangalakshmi, for sharing about infrastructure, the budget, what they explained about infrastructure in the budget. And like you mentioned, a lot of roadways are going to be, highway projects are going to be executed. And this year, actually, they're planning to bring many highways, bring more, about 3,500 kilometers of highways to Tamil Nadu, Kerala 1,500 kilometers, to West Bengal 675 kilometers, and to Assam also 1,300 kilometers. So India, Tamil Nadu மட்டுமே 1.3 lakh crore செலவழிக்க போறாங்க. கேரளாக்கும் அதே மாதிரி 65,000 கோடி, வெஸ்ட் பெங்காலுக்கும் 25,000 கோடி, அசாமுக்கும் 34,000 கோடி செலவழிக்க போறாங்க. இது நல்ல வெல்கம் டிசிஷன் தான். கண்டிப்பா இது நீங்க சொன்னீங்க, கேபெக்ஸ் பத்தி சொன்னீங்க, கேபிட்டல் எக்ஸ்பெண்டிச்சர். ஸோ அவங்க கொஞ்சம் பட்ஜெட்ல பிசிக்கல் டெபிசிட் இருக்கு, கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸஸா ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்றாங்க. வருமானத்துக்கும் அவங்களுடைய செலவு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா செலவு அதிகமா இருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த எதுக்காக அதிகமாக செலவழிக்கிறாங்கன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, ஒன் ஆஃப் த ரீசன்ஸ் இஸ் ஃபார் இந்த மாதிரி கேபெக்ஸ் ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ், நீங்க சொன்ன அந்த கேபிட்டல் எக்ஸ்பெண்டிச்சர். ஸோ இதுதான் வந்து பாசிட்டிவ் இம்பேக்ட் ஆன் ஆர் நம்ம இண்டஸ்ட்ரி டெவலப் ஆகும், லைஃப் ரொம்ப கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக கன்வீனியன்ட்டாக ஆகிரும். ஸோ நிறைய ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ், நிறைய பிக் கம்பெனிஸ் வில் கெட் தீஸ் ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் அவங்க நிறைய ஜாப் எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட்லாம் கொடுப்பாங்க. ஸோ அதனால கேபெக்ஸில் எது ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணாலுமே, இந்த மாதிரி இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ல ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணாலே கண்டிப்பா பீப்புளுக்கு ஒரு பெனிஃபிட் இருக்கும். அதனால ஐ திங்க் ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட் ஆல்சோ ஹஸ் கான் அப் by 650 points. So I think it's a good welcome decision by the government. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thangalakshmi ma'am, fine presentation. ரோடு ரொம்ப பெருசா போடுறாங்க, ஆனா நீங்க டாபிக் ரொம்ப சீக்கிரம் முடிச்சிட்டீங்க. ஸோ as a second thing, after defense வந்து இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர் தான் நம்ம நிறைய ஃபண்ட் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்றோம். ஸோ ஒரு நாட்டோட டெவலப்மெண்ட் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எஜுகேஷன் சொல்லுவாங்க, ரெண்டாவது எல்லாருமே இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர் ஃபெசிலிட்டி தான் சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ the government is moving a good move. ஸோ நல்லா மூவ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. ஸோ we'll see after result ma'am. Next presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Suresh, I think you have informed that you have to move at 11:30. Only 2 presentation is there. Shall we proceed, sir?
Okay, ma'am. No problem. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Hari, sir. I think we are.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. No problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. Gladson, are you ready? Gladson, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Gladson, go for your presentation, ma'am. Fast.
First of all, good morning to everyone. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, Gladson, you proceed, you proceed. Your presentation is good.
Good morning to everyone. My topic was economic and finance in Union Budget 2021 to 22. Ministry of Finance, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharam, Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs, presenting the first Union Budget of third decade of the 21st century. This is the first digital budget in India. Economic development. Referring to the theme of economic development, the Finance Minister said that 27,300 crore would be allocated for the development and promotion of industry and commerce for the year 2020 to 2021. An investment clearance cell will be set up to provide end-to-end. It is proposed to develop 5 smart cities in collaboration with states in PPP mode. PPP, public-private partnership. A scheme to encourage manufacture of mobile phone, electronic equipment, and semiconductor packing is also proposed. A national technical textile mission would be set up with 4-year implementation period from 2020-21 to 2023 to 24. To achieve higher export credit distribution, a new scheme NIRBIK is being launched to support mainly small exporters. Government e-market is moving ahead to create a unified system in the country for providing a single platform for procurement for good service and work. Increasing FDI insurance sector, it is increased in 49% to 74%, and the foreign ownership and control with safeguard. Stress at asset resolution, asset reconstruction company limited and asset management company to be set up. Recapitalization of PSBs, rupees 20,000 crore in 2021 to 2022 to further consolidate the financial cap of PSBs. Economy and finance, government financial reforms, treasury single account system for the autonomous bodies to be extended for universal application, separate administrative structure to streamline the ease of doing business for corporates. Comparison in 2020 to 2021, capital layout outlay from 12% estimated to increase 15%. In 2021-22, capital expenditure is estimated at 5,54,233 crore. Revenue expenditure is estimated to be 29,29,000 crore. Expert opinion, Rumki Mudmander, Economics Reality India said a strong and sustainable rebound in the second half fiscal year 2020-22 will help the government to improve the fiscal and debit situation in the years ahead. Thank you, sir. That's all. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Gladson. Sir, your suggestions, please.
Okay, good presentation, Gladson. Almost, so when we see this budget, when compared to the previous budget, the fund allocated for this infrastructure developments and economy is more than higher. So the capital expenditure of the last year is only about 3.3 lakh crores, and for this budget we allotted almost 5.5 lakh crores. So almost 75% to 80% increase in this capital expenditure. So it's a welcome move, as I said. And so national presentation in a good manner. Nice, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Gladson. Good information. So I think you mentioned about the 5 new smart cities in PPP mode. Just in the smart cities and share பண்ணீங்கன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும். அது ஒன்று investment, first digital budget, all that is really good. Textile park in the global champions, India wants to be a global champion in textile, so they are investing a lot of money in that, in textile, in creating 7 textile parks. So அதே மாதிரி FDI sector you mentioned 49% to 74%. அது எந்த கேட்டகரியில, அது எந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில, எந்த இதுல? Insurance. I think insurance. So அது ஒன்று. நீங்க அந்த stressed assets இது சொன்னீங்க. ஸோ நேற்று அதை பற்றி நான் கொஞ்சம் just reading something about it. அது வந்து actually they are called bad banks. So whichever banks are facing the challenge of NPAs face பண்ற banksலாம் என்ன செய்றாங்கன்னா, they are selling off their NPA assets to another bank. So that they can focus on growth, they can focus on lending money to customers. So the bad banks என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா, அந்த NPA loans வந்து they are trying to recover the money from their main purpose is to recover the money from the clients. So that's, I think, one of the initiatives. The public sector banks பத்தி சொன்னீங்க. ஆமா, I think 4,500 crores 500 crores வந்து IOB ல இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்றாங்க. They're going to pump into IOB and all that. But பொதுவாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பேங்க்ஸ் நல்லா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. எஸ்பெஷலி ஆக்சிஸ் பேங்க், டிஎன்பி பேங்க்ல நல்ல growth இருக்கு. as you know, அவங்க நல்ல growthல தான் இருக்காங்க. Compared to public sector banks வந்து private banks are doing very well, especially HDFC, Axis Bankலாம் they're doing very well. Overall, yeah. Thank you, Gladson. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Is the last presentation. Madhavan, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Madhavan. Proceed. Madhavan, start your presentation.
Ma'am, am I audible? Hello?
Madhavan, look at what you have. You have been audible with your presentation. It is.
Hello? Can you able to see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I am Madhavan. Today my topic is about agriculture budget 2021. Agriculture Minister of India, Narendra Singh Tomar, is an Indian politician and a member of the 70th Lok Sabha. He is the Minister of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. Next, Agriculture Union Budget 2022. Finance Minister has allocated 2.83 lakh crore would be allocated for an agriculture, reiterating the commitment of doubling farmers' income by 2022. She said government has already provided resilience for 6.11 crore farmers insurance under PM Fasal Bima Yojana. Agriculture credited target for the year 2021 has been set as a 15 lakh crore. All eligible beneficiaries of PM Kisan will be covered under the KCG scheme. Moreover, comprehensive measurements for 100 water stressed districts proposed to expand PM Kisan to provide 20 lakh farmers for setting up a standalone solar pumps. The government has announced that government has provided solar pumps for farmers. That's under the plan of PM Kisan. 15 lakh farmers to solarize the grid connected pump sets, setting up to efficient warehouse at the block level and in our agriculture sector with a focus on one product, one district for the better marketing and export are some of the steps in that direction. In this foot and mouth disease, brucellosis in cattle and PPR in sheep are going to be eliminated by 2025. Coverage of artificial inseminants to be increased from the present of 30 to 70 in MGREGS to be devolved by developed fooded farmers. Doubling of milk processing capacity from 53.5 million MT to 108 million MT by 2025 to be facilitated. Similarly, on the blue economy, rising of the fishing product to 200 lakh tons is proposed by 2023. Government has planned to involve the youth to develop the fishery producing organization. Fishery exports hope to rise it by 1 lakh crore by 2024 to 2025. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana project for abolishing of poverty of core household are mobilized with 58 lakh SGHS, and it will be further explained. Comparison for the Union Budget to 2021. The Union Budget 2021 did not seem to be addressed concerns over the agriculture sector, even as the ongoing farmer protests have taken center stage. The total allocation for 21-22 was 1.23 lakh crore compared to 1.16 lakh crore in 2021 and 1.34 lakh crore in BE. Expert opinion by Sami Natarajan is the secretary of the Tamil Nadu Farmers. Person says there were no effective steps announced for fixing the remunerative prices for agriculture produce, and no major irrigation schemes to be covered rain feed farmlands into the irrigate at once. And Natarajan said that over 50% of the total farm land is rain fed, even as the estimated credit flow to the agriculture has been increased to rupees 16.5 lakh crore. Natarajan claimed that most small and marginal farmers do not get the institutional finance usually, and that only agricultural industries and corporate farming sectors got the major share. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam. I think we come to it. Sir, your suggestions regarding this presentation regarding agriculture.
Madhavan Chandra. So I think there is a huge protest is going on in Delhi, right, for this agricultural bill. So at that time, at that time also, our finance minister has boldly announced a lot of announcements in this agri area for the improvement of the agriculture. Okay, so we'll take out of the political point of view. So normally, agriculture is the backbone of our country. In every budget, there will be always a lot of subsidies and all, and a lot of improvements, a lot of plans for improving the agriculture industry for the nation development. And like this year also they have introduced some of the subsidies, and in added that they have added some checks for some of the products, and almost decided to fix a maximum retail price. So maximum selling price, that is MSP, like MRP, they are going to implement an MSP scheme for rice and products initially. and in case they will be keep moving on this to the chapters of other levels. Even if they stop this agri bill also, they will be implementing each and every changes into the way of budget and notifications. So whether the agri bill is passed or not, it will be, so the impact of that everything will be proposed in the budget and they will be brought up in it. So as the first step, they will start to introduce the MSP, maximum selling price for rice and wheat, the budget. So everyone is speaking about the protest against the agri bill, but no one is worrying about what is mentioned in the budget. Okay, fine. So nice presentation, Madhavan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Madhavan, I think you shared all the highlights of the agriculture in the budget, agricultural changes in the budget. So I think what you mentioned is doubling farmers' income. That is the main purpose. That's why they're allocating a big budget here. Especially the 6,000 rupees for every individual farmer, that's going to go into their account. So that's also.
Yes, sir. They are planning to increase the 6,000 supportive money to increase the.
For their income, definitely. And so the solar pumps, all the information you've shared, fisheries department, how much they're going to spend. And I think Tamil Nadu and Kerala are going to be the main beneficiaries of this. Tamil Nadu, Kerala,
Yes,
Cochin, they're going to get this fisheries research and development. And Tamil Nadu, multi-purpose seaweed park to be set up in Tamil Nadu. So these are some other things about this agriculture and fisheries budget. Overall, good. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Madhavan. Sir, before going to wind up the sessions, as a business person and as an auditor, we want to know what is your point of view regarding this budget, sir, 2021?
Regarding this budget, as per a normal point of view from layman, there is nothing mentioned in the budget. Because whenever a layman or normal persons, when we see the budget, because almost out of 100%, almost 70 to 70% of the persons who are paying taxes are covering from salary people. Only 15 to 20% they will be in the corporate sectors. But when you see it as a revenue manner, this 20% of the persons are contributing more to the country, right? But those who are watching budget, so almost 70% are watching budget only for expecting that direct tax changes. So when we see the direct changes and indirect taxation point of view, there is nothing mentioned in the budget. What they expect, so they didn't fulfill their budget. But as I said, when we go for that infrastructure area, agriculture area, or infrastructure development, as per my point of view, this is a welcome budget only. So most of the points what they have added is correct. And as I said, since Harisa is there, so as an industry expert, and so he may also aware that. So for 50%, normally what they will suggest, what they will do is, so as Nirmala ma'am correctly said, less government, more governance. So now they are concentrating on that even. So they will be, they didn't think about what the government has to do, and they are trying to implement what are the policies to the extent what they have to benefit the country. So as per my point of view, the budget is a welcome. Thank you. As per industry side.
Thank you, sir. You have the safer word.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, well said.
Talk about as an auditor, your point of view as a layman, and the words have been very safe from your point of view. So thank you, sir.
So thank you, auditor sir, and good sharing also about the budget. Just wanted to say from the industry point of view, I think the budget, they're focusing on infrastructure. So I think that is actually a capital expenditure, which is actually a welcome decision, because that will help many corporates to take over these kind of projects. There are more than 7,500 projects that are going to be implemented. So I think that will create more job opportunities, so which will bring more more income to people. So when people have more income, then they will definitely spend that money in the market. So that's how the economy will keep growing. And for the MSMEs they haven't really brought about much changes. They've just improved the definition of an MSME. So more people can come into that micro, small, medium enterprise. And during the COVID, they've given collateral-free loans. So that was definitely very helpful to survive that between March and July, the first quarter of this year. It was really helpful to survive that period. And they're also trying to promote local businesses. So they're disallowing global tenders. Anything more than less than 200 crores, they're not inviting FDI. The global tenders are being restricted so that people in-house, people in India can take up the opportunity. And basically the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is nothing but being self-reliant. We should know our demand. We should be able to cater to our own demand. So they are trying to help the MSME sector to grow. They know that is the backbone of our country, and like sir said, they are the maximum, job employment givers or the maximum taxpayers also. So that's one. That's why I think the MSME sector is also happy. They are maybe not too excited, but they are happy with this budget. So infrastructure improvement. And what else? Privatization of public sector enterprises, because nowadays a lot of public limited, all these public sectors they are not making much money. So I think they are very like BSNL. Take for example BSNL. Okay, they're not able to compete with the local private players like Airtel or Reliance. So when you privatize some of these companies, definitely the quality, the service levels, everything will go up. So definitely that will help customers. Indirectly, customers will be benefited. And the privatization of public sectors, definitely will help the market. So LIC, I think LIC and BPCL disinvest பண்றாங்க. So again, the privatization will bring in more quality, will help improve the service levels also. வேற என்ன சொல்றது? So MSMEs, நீங்க எல்லாரும் youngsters, 50% of you might go as future managers. போறீங்க 50% of you want to become entrepreneurs. So the startup companies, I think Modi government, or rather the current situation is very conducive for all of you. So நீங்களா கண்டிப்பா try to start your own company. Now they have a new trend which is going on, one-person company. எனக்கு இந்த ஸ்பீச் சார் துரை சார் இன்வைட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் I was able to research on all these things. One-person company சொல்லி, instead of going for a partnership company or a private limited company, you can be the only person, the only director and the only shareholder of a company. So it's definitely, earlier it was, they had a limit, 50 lakhs you have to invest. Your investment cannot be more than 50 lakhs and your turnover cannot be more than 2 crores. And even NRIs cannot invest in this one-person company. Ipo pathina, your investment can be up to 2 crores, your turnover can be up to 5 crores. NRIs can also invest in this one-person company. So இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கு. So I think நீங்களும் நாளைக்கு you should also start your own venture. So நிறைய I'm sure எல்லா incubation centersலாம் நிறைய colleges வச்சிருக்காங்க. They have tied up with other startup consultants ஓட tie up பண்ணி வச்சிருப்பாங்க. So you can definitely get the help of you. If you have a good idea, is enough nowadays. You don't need to go to the bank and ask them for collateral. Ask them for a loan. Collateral லாம் வேண்டியதில்லை. So if you have a good idea, கண்டிப்பா நீங்களாம் நல்லா சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா வரலாம். Just for example, இப்போ ரீசெண்டா கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க ஒரு கம்பெனி கால் டீ டைம். அவங்க ஒரு ஸ்மால் கம்பெனி, ஒரு ஸ்மால் ஐடியா தான். நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் டீ குடிக்கிறது பிடிக்கும். We like to have tea, a cup of tea. So அதை ஒரு கார்பரேட் ஸ்டைல்ல கொண்டு போயிருக்காங்க. கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 800 or 900 ஃப்ரான்ச்சைசி அவுட்லெட்ஸ் இது வரைக்கும் ஓப்பன் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. இந்த ஸ்பேன் ஆஃப் ஜஸ்ட் ஹார்ட்லி 2 years கூட இருக்காது. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கான்செப்ட். தென் யூஸ் த டெக்னாலஜி. நிறைய யூடியூப் சேனல்ஸ்லாம் நிறைய பேர் கிரியேட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. சேனல்ஸ் மூலமா தேர் ஏபிள் டு ஷோகேஸ் தேர் டேலண்ட்ஸ். இப்போ ரீசெண்டா கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க மதுரையில் அது என்ன கம்பெனி, டாடி ஆறுமுகம் பிரியாணி. ஸோ அவங்க ஃபாதர் ஒரு ப்ராப்ளி 60-65 years old. Armom sir nu othirukkaru. Avaru he was showcasing how to make food items, non-veg items and many other non-veg items. Annika our son ulla vandaru, he told him to start a YouTube channel and adula pathina subscribers kept increasing. So adula or income avaru kedachadu. And now he's set up his own they've set up a restaurant. They've gone into the restaurant model and they plan to expand to many towns in Tamil Nadu and outside Tamil Nadu and possibly even out of the country. So the mari you also can apply a mind simple things la kuda neenga unga mind apply panni enga problem irukko adha neenga solve பண்றதுக்கு நீங்க ஒரு சொல்யூஷன் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா definitely it will be a huge success. Always not நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போதுல கொஞ்சம் இந்த டிக் மார்க் நோட்டீஸ் மனசுல வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போதுல கொஞ்சம் டிப் இருக்கும். நீங்க you will have to work a little extra hard, but அந்த டிக் மார்க் மாதிரி the arrow will start going up தான். So ஐடியா நல்லா இருந்துச்சுன்னா கண்டிப்பா you will definitely grow your business. So your future entrepreneurs and future leaders of our country, I wish you all the very best. Thank you, Dr. Valarmadi ma'am, and all the other eminent faculty members. Thank you so much.
Thanks for valuable suggestions, and I think you have been motivating our students to become an entrepreneur. The last 3 consecutive years, Modi government is insisting to startups from you. They are looking for various things, not only in budget, various things he is encouraging to go for the startups. He is motivating for the startups. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Suresh. Now, before going for wind up, we are expecting a few words
Thank
from
you,
our
sir. Before formal vote of thanks, I want to thank both resource person. You have given our students has given some presentations. You have enjoyed, I think so. But your each and every part you have given an explanation is a great source for our students. Really, we enjoyed, and also our students surely will get benefit out of your discussions. Auditor sir and Hariharan sir, really it is very good explanations, and really they got 100% full-fledged explanations, I think so. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your 2 hours time. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We go to formal vote of thanks. I think I invite our senior professor, Dr. Sir, to give the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. It's my privilege to deliver vote of thanks. So let it not be very formal. I got introduced with Mr. Hari in a PG program where we were discussing about a topic called Be an Achiever. I made a presentation 1 week before, and he had to make the presentation the next week for another set of students. But I mean, and I was asked to give him some inputs regarding that, but it was totally different. Then after getting know about him and discussing with him that I could understand he is an achiever, I just simply made a word that said, "You please share your experience. That is that alone will serve the purpose." So that way we had a discussion. But he is very, very, very humble person, and today that we have understood how an achiever behaves. Like they gain knowledge in the length and breadth, that how much effort that after we send the different topics, he has made a lot of exercises and he has gained knowledge and he wanted to share. So the concern towards the students is also very well said. Thank you, sir, for being the resource person. We would like to closely work with you in grooming our students, sir. Thank you, sir. And about Suresh Chandar, is a very close friend of mine. Earlier he was introduced as an auditor when I was working with one of the company in Sivagasi. Later on, he joined with the club JCI Sivagasi Nila Club, and we are all the members. And I have seen how he's after his entry, we could see that he's establishing some systems in the club. And he's working with Lions, and again he is a businessman, entrepreneur. Now recently he has started a business in Kovilpatti. Now he is about to leave. Like he works like anything, down to earth person, and I have seen his work during the last Pongal celebrations, and in sending the MRF on time, and he used to insist on being punctual. If it is the meeting is at 9 o'clock, then we have to be there 9 o'clock. Otherwise, we can fix it at 10. So like, so he has his own footprints wherever he goes. So thank you, Suresh sir, for being the resource person. So we are really great to have both of you here today for this budget discussion session. Thank you, ma'am, for providing us the opportunity to organize this event. And thank you, ma'am, for coordinating the in a wonderful way. And we have to say special thanks to our students for putting their efforts in preparing and discussing and analyzing the different topics of budget and making their presentations. We could see the kind of improvement on every day in their presentation and their learning. So thank you all. Thank you.
Really, I want to appreciate our students because they have prepared many things. Yesterday also they have taken trial things, each and everything. Anyhow, few things they couldn't present, but other presentations and all very nice and politely they have presented and they have given most inputs to sharing. They have shared the students, your friends also. Really good presentation. I appreciate your effort.
Thank you very much. And Suresh, please consider this as a formal invitation. We are expecting both to be being on campus when the time permits. So, we have been trying to please step into our campus and value session for the evening student. And we are expecting you to be here, sir. And formally for any program, but don't feel in the Coimbatore, we are expecting you to be in the campus. On behalf of management director ma'am and the faculty students, we are inviting you for our campus. Please be in the campus and give the suggestions, sir. We are expecting your valuable suggestions. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, students.